Good morning, students. Today we are starting a new section of the chapter circulatory system, that is the lymphatic system. With this section, we can finish the circulatory system. So let's start that. Lymphatic system. Lymphatic system is a system mainly concerned with the immune system of our body. First point itself, so many components are there for this lymphatic system. Which are the components? Lymphoid organs are there, lymphatic duct is there, lymphatic tissue is there, nodes is there, capillaries are there, and vessels are there. All these things together constitute the lymphatic system. Lymphoid organs can be classified into primary and secondary, that we will learn in the by the end of this section. So now just had that so many organs, lymphoid organs are present in our body, and duct for discharging those particles that is synthesized in these organs need to be discharged in different regions of the body. For that purpose, lymphatic duct is there, and also lymphatic tissues are there. Tissue means in that tissue, that area, that different T and B lymphocytes are forming. Such lymphatic tissues are present. I think an image is there. Let's see. Lymph node. That lymphatic tissue is actually present in lymph nodes. And I think you may get there's chance for you get a doubt. What is lymph node? Lymph node is actually here we can see in this image. This is the entire some circuit of lymphatic system of that present in a human body, and so many ducts here we can see, and the button like structures that we can see here and there is called the nodes, and the cells, group of cells that found inside the nodes are called the lymphatic tissues. Okay, then vessels, and very narrow vessels are called the lymphatic capillaries. These are about the lymphatic system, and many lymphoid organs. I told you that some lymphoid organs are present. Here it's also shown as thymus, then spleen, then pace patches, bone marrow. All these we will learn in this section next coming slides. So go back. So these are the different components that constitute the lymphatic system. Once more, which are the components? Lymphoid organs are there. Organs means like thymus, spleen, then pace, just like that. Then lymphatic duct means vessels, system is there for discharging the elements that are present in the lymph elements that is synthesized by the lymphoid organs. That elements need to be discharged. That discharge is done by the lymphatic duct. And lymphatic tissues are there. These tissues are present actually in the lymphoid nodes. They are button-like structures distributed here and there in the lymphatic system. And lymphoid capillaries are there, and some much bigger blood vessels. Sorry, when lymphatic vessels are called the lymphoid vessels. It's all about the different components of lymphatic system. Then we are going to see about the lymphatic vessels. Inside the vessels, how this lymph is forming. Lymph is forming that we are going to see now. This is schematic diagram, and here this is a cell layer, a part of tissue, and seen associated with this cellular layer. Cellular layer means it's a part of some tissue that present in our body, and associated with this present a blood capillary we know, inside that may present RBC, WBC, plasma, so many things. So plasma, what is it? Plasma is a fluid portion of the blood, right? So when a blood capillary is passing very close to this tissue, then there is a diffusion is happening here. The diffusion means accepting, accept this bigger particles. Bigger particles of the blood means RBC are like the formed elements. Formed elements also we have learned. Um, except this formed elements, that fluid portion get diffused out and moves in this direction. And some major portion then returns. In this figure, you can see that here, from this blood capillary, that fluid portion is moving to the cell, and from here it is diffusing and moving and get inside the lymph vessel. Okay. During this path, a majority of fluid is coming back and join with the blood capillary. But a small amount is not coming back. It is moving forward and finally diffuses inside the lymph vessel. That fluid part constitutes the lymph in the lymph vessels, capillaries, and entirely the lymphatic system. In that way, the lymph is formed in the lymphatic system. From where the lymph is formed? Lymph is actually extracting from the blood capillary itself. I think you understand that. Okay, that's about the formation of lymph. In simple sentence, how can we tell it? Tell the formation of lymph in the lymphatic system. Lymph is synthesis is formed from the blood capillary. When a blood capillary pass very close to the tissue cells, the fluid part of the blood diffuses out and a major portion moves back and joins with the blood capillary, but a smaller portion moves forward and diffuses and get inside the lymph vessel. And that portion that comes out from the blood capillary constitutes the fluid portion. That's the lymph inside the lymph vessels. Okay, next. Um, Next is about valves. Inside the lymphatic vessels, certain valves are present. Regarding that, this is a lymph vessel, and see how this lymph vessel is formed. For forming anything, there should be some cells. Cells together form a tissue. So similarly, here also this lymphatic vessel is formed of what you call certain cells, and its name is lymphatic endothelial cells. Endothelial. ENDOTHELIAL. Lymphatic endothelial cell. That we can see here. This is one lymphatic endothelial cell. This is another cell. This is another cell. This is another cell. In what form they are arranging? In an overlapping form. This cell is overlapped with this one. This is overlapping with this one, and in an overlapping fashion it is arranged in such a way to form this lymph vessel. In that overlapping create a valve-like arrangement. Here we can see that. Because of that overlapping, a valve-like arrangement we can see inside the lymphatic vessel. And the lymph is inside this vessel, lymph is moving in this direction. Because of the pressure exerted by the lymph, the valve will open and it can move to almost much forward. After it moves, it cannot move back because after the passage of lymph to much forward direction, the valve get closed. That is the arrangement, the speciality of the arrangement of endothelial cells of lymphatic cell. That special arrangement of endothelial cells that present in the lymph vessels are called here is considered as valves. Next, let's about the valves in lymphatic vessels. Valves is nothing but it is simply the endothelial cells that form the lymph vessels itself. The special arrangement, overlapping arrangement gives such an appearance of such a pattern of valve for regulating the unidirectional flow of lymph inside the lymph vessel. Next is about lymph vessels. Lymph vessels means the capillaries, smaller, minute lymph capillaries unite to form much thicker lymph ducts. They're called lymph vessels. And next is about lymph ducts. First capillaries are there. Capillaries unite form vessels, and these vessels then unite to form much larger pathway. They are called lymph ducts. Then lymph ducts are of two types. We can divide that lymph duct into two: right lymphatic duct and a thoracic duct. Duct are of two types. How the duct is forming? First, from the beginning, capillaries unite to form vessels. Vessels unite to form ducts, and ducts are of two types. Two types means two branches are there for right side and left side. Um, right lymphatic duct is there, and also left thoracic duct is there. Once more, right lymphatic duct and left thoracic duct. Then that right lymphatic duct joins with the right subclavian vein. Spelling I will tell. Right, we know the spelling. Subclavian, SUBCLAVIAN, subclavian vein. What is the specialty? What is the role of this subclavian vein? Subclavian veins are nothing. They are the major vein that carry deoxygenated, that means impure blood from arm, shoulder, neck. That type of vein are called subclavian vein. So, the right lymphatic duct joins with the right subclavian vein, the vein that carries impure blood from the right side of head, thorax, arm. Okay. Then another branch of the duct is called left thoracic duct. Left thoracic duct joins with the left subclavian vein. Okay. And that left thoracic duct means one major branch of our lymphatic duct. Two branches are there. Right lymphatic duct that I already told you, and the other branch is left thoracic duct. It is joining with the left subclavian vein. Okay. Then from where all this left thoracic duct carry the elements, contents, it drains from all the left side of head, thorax, arm and remaining body parts. It carry all the matters, all the fluid portion drains from left side of the head, thorax and arm and remaining body parts. Which duct? Left thoracic duct. Once more, in the lymphatic vessels, first it starts as small capillaries. Small capillaries then join to form much bigger lymphatic vessels. Lymphatic vessels then unite to form much bigger lymphatic ducts. And lymphatic ducts for both sides of the body, for distributing both sides of the body, it is divided into right lymphatic duct and left thoracic duct. Right lymphatic duct joins with the right subclavian vein. Left thoracic duct joins with the left subclavian vein. Okay, understand? Then right lymphatic duct is draining or matters from right side of the head, thorax and arm. Similarly, left thoracic duct drains matters from left side of the head, thorax, arm and remaining body parts. That's about that network, lymphatic systems network. Network consists of capillaries, vessels, ducts. Then next is about lymph node. Node are button-like structures that seen here and there. Till now we have discussed about vessels, capillaries, all those things, and they are coming and reaching the lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are actually bean-shaped organ. Here in this picture we can see just like a button like structure. Actually its shape is bean shaped organ. And what is its role? To filter foreign particles in the lymph. And through this capillaries and ducts from different body parts, it is carrying the body fluid to the nodes. And in the when on reaching the node filter the fluid to remove all foreign particles. And inside these nodes present B, coming to back, B and T lymphocytes. And the picture that just shown you is an expanded view of lymph node. By showing this, I will explain the remaining portion. Inside this lymph node present T and B lymphocytes. What's the peculiarity? What's the role of T and B lymphocytes? Both these are concerned with the immune response, immune system of our body is the function of T and B lymphocytes. In what way T lymphocytes differ from B lymphocytes? There is one difference. T lymphocyte is concerned with the cell mediated immunity. T lymphocytes is concerned with the cell mediated immunity, and B lymphocytes are concerned with the humoral mediated immunity. What is cell mediated and humoral mediated? Cell mediated means that cell, T cell itself phagocytize and kill the foreign particle. B cell means it produce antibodies, and with the help of that antibodies it kill the foreign particles. That is the difference. So, this is about lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are button-like structures distributed here and there in the lymphatic system. And in that lymph node, what's the purpose? They are bean-shaped structure, and its purpose is to filter the fluid that is carried by the lymph ducts, and it remove all the foreign particles that present in the lymph with the help of T and B lymphocytes that present inside the lymph node. Okay. Next slide. Lacteals. Lacteals. Where have you heard about this lacteals? Anybody know? Anybody remembering that word? Lacteal. In the digestive system, nutritional physiology, I have to mention that term. Lacteals is seen inside the villi, intestinal villi. And there, in the fat digestion and absorption, I have told you that from the lacteal, fat is absorbed and passed to the lymphatic system. So, there is a connection between lacteals of villi. That lacteals of villi actually connected to the left thoracic duct of lymphatic system. Okay. In that chapter, I just simply told you that lacteals are connected to lymphatic system. And as we learned that lymphatic system consists of two ducts, two part, right lymphatic duct and left thoracic duct. Now, I am telling you that the lacteals are joining, connected with the left thoracic duct. In that way, lacteals are communicating with the lymphatic system. Next is about the composition of lymph. It's a picture of lymph. This is the appearance. It's clear and colorless and a watery liquid. And its composition is almost similar to plasma because it is originated. It is formed from the blood plasma itself. So composition wise is almost similar to plasma. But some difference are there. The protein content of lymph is lower than that of plasma. Comparing with plasma, its protein content is much less. And fat that absorbed from the intestine is an important component of the lymph. Lymph contain fat. Fat is an important component of the lymph. Next, functions of lymphatic system important. There are three main functions. First, maintain the balance of interstitial fluid. Ah, it maintain the balance in the interstitial fluid means the fluid that present between the cells. When the fluid between the cells increase, then that excess fluid is taken up by the lymphatic system. In that way, it maintains the balance of interstitial fluid. That is one function. Second, it absorbs fat. Fatty acid absorption. That's the second function. Third function, immunity. Immunity how? With the help of T and B lymphocytes. The other functions of lymphatic system. How this lymph is flowing? For the pumping and movement or flowing of blood, there is heart is there, heart is pumping blood. Because of that pressure, blood is flowing. But how the lymph is flowing? The lymph is flowing mainly because of the squeezing action of smooth muscles near the lymph vessels. Where all the lymph vessels are present, the smooth muscles that seen around those that lymph vessels squeeze those lymph vessels. Because of that squeezing action, lymph is flowing, especially at the joints in our body. And some factors are there. That's about the role of smooth muscles. Like in picture, we can see that this is the force exerted by smooth muscles. In this squeezing, because of that squeezing action, lymph is moving. And there are certain factors that affect the rate of lymph flow. Three factors are there. First one, rate of lymph formation. How much lymph is forming? If more lymph is forming per second, then the rate of flow will be more. And also, if high BP is there, high blood pressure is there. If high blood pressure is there, more fluid may diffuse may enter into the lymphatic system. That means high BP produce more lymph and more lymph flow. And also third one and the last one is because of the contraction of the neighboring muscles. These are the three factors that affect the flow of lymph. Just the rate of lymph formation and the BP. BP means blood pressure. And the last one, the contraction of neighboring muscles. Next, edema. Edema means what? Edema, because from external environment, if somehow some microorganisms enters in our body, enters in the bloodstream, and from the bloodstream it enters in the lymphatic system, it may clog the lymph vessels. And because that blocking, lymph may accumulate in particular regions where it is blocked, and that may result in edema, നീര് പോണക്ക്. എലിഫന്റിയാസിസിലൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് this condition we can notice. There is edema. It's an accumulation of excessive interstitial fluid. Okay. Next is an important section of this part, lymphoid organs and tissues. Two main classifications are there, primary lymphoid organs and secondary lymphoid organs. What is the difference between primary lymphoid organ and secondary lymphoid organ? Primary lymphoid organs are the place or region where actually T and B lymphocytes are forming, the site of formation. But secondary lymphoid organs are the region where these formed antibodies get activated. They're activating center, monitoring center. These centers are called secondary lymphoid organs. Then we are going to learn about primary lymphoid organs. Primary lymphoid organs are major site of lymphocyte formation. And which are the primary lymphoid organs? Thymus and bone marrow. Thymus, here we can see, this is a sternum, this is ribs, and inside this present lungs, and behind the lungs heart is there. And in front of the heart, actually thymus is located. And this is the heart, and in front of the heart thymus is present. It is encapsulated. Encapsulated means it's covered by a protective covering. And inside the thymus so much lymphocytes are present. Regarding its position, where is its position? In front of the heart and under the sternum. And peculiarity, it is encapsulated and it is lymphocyte rich. It is bilobed. 2 lobes are present. It's about thymus. It is the site of T cell formation and maturation. And this thymus maximum activity is present in fetus and in early childhood period. And when an individual attain his puberty, his activity diminish. Thymus gland's activity when get diminished when an individual attain his or her puberty. Puberty means പ്രായപൂർത്തിയാവുക. Okay. Then secondary lymphoid. Sorry, bone marrow. I didn't tell about that. Bone marrow, that is present inside the bones. Inside the bones, majja ennu parayum. Bone marrow. From here, blood cells are, erythrocytes are forming, RBC are forming, and similarly, it is a major site of hematopoiesis, formation of lymphocytes, and especially that formation happens in the last months of fetal development. In the last months of fetal development. And this bone marrow derived lymphoid cells move to thymus. For what? To get T cell maturation. I have already told you that lymphocyte cells, 2 types, T and B. And in bone marrow, from bone marrow, T cell is formed. But the T cells maturation is not happening in that bone marrow. It is moving to the thymus for its maturation. But in the case of B cells, it matures in bone marrow itself. That's only about the primary lymphoid organs. Next, we are going to secondary lymphoid organs. Secondary lymphoid organs are the region where the antibodies are activated, and it is the monitoring center of that immune system. And first secondary lymphoid organ is spleen. This is spleen. First, about its position, you can see that it is a left side of our abdomen. Left side of our abdomen and under the diaphragm. Diaphragm is a small wall partition separating the chest from the stomach area. Under the diaphragm and left side of the abdomen. It is also an encapsulated structure. It is protected by a covering. Okay, that's about its position. That is spleen. Okay, then its function. What is the function? It is the site of protection and destruction of RBC, and also it produces platelets, granulocytes, lymphocytes, and filter the bloodstream. These are the function. Once more, RBC production destruction. Graveyard of RBC is known as spleen. This is an alias. Then production of platelets, granulocytes, lymphocytes, and filtering the bloodstream. These are the functions of spleen. Next, secondary lymphoid organ is lymph nodes. Lymph node, what is its shape? I have already told what is the shape. Bean shaped. And its nature, it is an encapsulated structure. Nodes are encapsulated structure. It is present at different points of lymphatic system. What is the importance of lymph nodes? That also I told you that it is rich in T and B cells. And it so because it have both T and B cells, it can mediate both cell mediated and humoral mediated immunity. That is mucosa associated lymphoid tissues. That's also a secondary lymphoid organ. And short form is MALT. What is MALT? They are lymphoid tissues in mucosal epithelial lining of different parts like digestive system, respiratory system, genital urinary tract. They are simply nothing. It is the lymphoid tissues that is present in the mucosal epithelial lining of where? Digestive system, respiratory system, genitourinary tract. These lymphoid tissues are called MALT, mucosa, because it is seen associated with the mucosal lining, mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Mainly three types are present. Nasal associated lymphoid tissue, maybe as the name implies, it is associated with the respiratory system. And bronchus associated lymphoid tissue, that also associated with the respiratory system. Then gut associated lymphoid tissue, that is associated with the alimentary canal. Mainly three types of MALT cells are there. Once more, the first one is nasal, NASAL, nasal associated lymphoid tissue. Bronchus, BRONCHUS, bronchus associated lymphoid tissue. And the last is gut associated lymphoid tissue. With this, we finish circulatory system and also today's section. Thank you.